It's Thursday, April 23rd. In the headlines, the Ministry of Education, Youth, Skills and Information urges stronger student psychosocial support amid conflicts. In business news, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness touts increased focus on more digital currency. Regionally, CARFA leaders say innovation key to future pandemic response. And in sports, Penn Relays begins with high school girls headlining opening day. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The Ministry of Education says Jamaica's schools are being forced to tackle more than academics, as growing social and behavioral challenges among students demand stronger psychosocial support. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon says incidents of conflict and violence in schools mirror what's happening in communities across the country, and the ministry is now placing a greater emphasis on counseling, conflict resolution, and student support systems. We have more on this story from Danita Rodney.
Speaking during Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing, the Education Minister says while the ministry continues to strengthen literacy and numeracy programs, officials have recognized that academic improvement alone is not enough. She says recent incidents involving students have reinforced the need for a whole-of-society approach, including stronger partnerships with security forces and families.
There's a lot of work that happens in our schools, especially in terms of guidance, counseling, and dealing with the psychosocial issues affecting our children. One of the things that I always try to point out is that our children are really products of the communities that they are from, the homes that they are from, and that we are seeing in our schools a lot of the realities that we see in our communities. The schools are not distant from the communities within which they are delivering education services.
The minister knows that schools are increasingly dealing with conflict resolution issues that students may be exposed to outside the classroom.
So we are finding that the same issues we see in our communities, the same issues with conflict resolution, they're popping up in school because it is learned behavior. And so what we've had to be doing in the Ministry of Education is putting a lot more emphasis on that work on the psychosocial dimension.
She adds that the ministry has expanded counseling services and created more opportunities for students to speak out when facing challenges.
We're doing a lot of work in literacy and numeracy, but we've recognized that that alone is not enough. And so we have Mr. Troop and his team doing a lot of work. We have the guidance counselors out there working with the students. We've provided avenues for them to speak up when there are issues. But we have to keep doing it.
The minister also emphasized that student violence is not limited to any one social group and must be addressed as a national issue.
Some of the young men who've been involved in some of the activities that have been in the news, they're not from underprivileged families. So this is a problem that is happening across our country, and we have to deal with it. And it's a general problem where we have accepted violence as the way to deal with conflicts.
Dr. Morris-Dixon says strengthening peace-building initiatives and family support will be key to improving student behavior and creating safer school environments nationwide. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Danita Rodney.
Opposition spokesman on energy, Philip Polwell, is urging the government to begin early negotiations for a new license for the Jamaica Public Service, arguing that there are no legal barriers preventing the process ahead of the current license's 2027 expiration date. Speaking during the sectoral debate, Mr. Polwell said the existing license, introduced in 2001, has been amended by successive administrations. He went on to outline several recommendations for a new license, including removing JPS's right of first refusal for new generation capacity. He also says increased storage is a must.
You can't award licenses for renewables without thinking about storage. And the level of efficiency in storage has improved tremendously.
Among other proposals, Mr. Paulwell called for the immediate implementation of electricity wheeling.
So wheeling is a facility that permits a large commercial or industrial enterprise to generate electricity at one location and to transport it across the national grid to its other locations, subject to a reasonable transmission fee. Time comes for that to be implemented.
The former energy minister is advocating for the expansion of self-generation within special economic zones and allowing homeowners and businesses to sell surplus solar energy to the national grid.
The pricing structure for electricity sold through net metering licenses must be genuinely incentivized through an appropriate feed-in tariff mechanism.
Addressing electricity theft, Mr. Paulwell called for stricter enforcement of law.
There must be a clear and enforceable mandate for the reduction and elimination of illegal connections and unmetered electricity usage. The government must accept a substantially greater responsibility for addressing this practice that has before now been the case. Penalties for such occurrences in wealthy communities, because many people believe that theft only occurs in poor communities. I think we need to increase the penalties where people steal electricity in these wealthy communities and provide a mechanism for the poorer communities to get attached to the grid.
Ongoing rainfall is threatening to further delay reconstruction efforts across Jamaica following Hurricane Melissa, as Caribbean Cement Company Limited reports disruptions to its operations due to adverse weather. The company says persistent showers have affected raw materials and equipment, reducing production levels and slowing the supply of cement needed for rebuilding homes, businesses, and infrastructure. These challenges add to existing setbacks, including labor shortages, rising costs, and transportation issues. According to the Meteorological Service of Jamaica, inclement weather is expected to continue through the weekend, further impacting work at construction sites. Carib Cement says teams have been working to stabilize operations, but it remains unclear how long the disruptions will last. Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping markets, capital access, and business decision-making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says Jamaica's central bank digital currency JAMDEX has not gained the level of traction initially anticipated by the government and the Bank of Jamaica. The Prime Minister revealed that JAMDEX is currently valued at 250 million Jamaican dollars, representing only a small fraction of the country's monetary base, which stood at more than 433 billion at the end of March. He explained that the slow take-up is largely due to the limited deployment of supporting digital infrastructure within the banking system. Dr. Holness conceded that more point-of-sale machines and bank cards are needed to make the system more accessible to the public, noting this will require additional investment from financial institutions. He also highlighted the need for a unified digital payments platform, adding that discussions have already begun with countries such as India to explore potential solutions. The Prime Minister said that the government is now in active discussions with commercial banks to strengthen the digital payments ecosystem and drive wider adoption of JAMDEX. The Development Bank of Jamaica has disclosed that its interventions helped to create or support 193 new businesses during the 2024-2025 financial year. The bank also reported that 341 micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises benefited from its capacity building programs during the period. In addition, some 11.3 billion Jamaican dollars in loans were dispersed, while total investments reached $39.8 billion. The DBJ has also launched a $10 billion M5 business recovery loan facility to assist MSMEs affected by Hurricane Melissa. Under the program, businesses may access loans up to $50 million over a period of 10 years at an interest rate of 8% per annum. Motorists will pay more at the pump starting Thursday as new ex-refinery prices from PetroJam show an increase in gasoline costs. Both grades of gasoline are up by $4.50. 90 octane will sell for $188.57 per liter, while 87 octane moves to $181.13. Automotive diesel and ultra-low sulfur diesel each fall by 25 cents to $188.75 and $195.59 per liter, respectively. Kerosene also dips by 25 cents to $178.14 per liter. Meanwhile, propane liquid petroleum rises by $1.20 to $78.88 per liter, while butane liquid petroleum drops by $1 to $86.80. Marketing companies and retailers will add their respective markups to these prices. For the trading period of April 22, 2026, the most actively traded securities were One-on-One Educational Services Limited with 145,065,852 units, representing 83.14% of market sales activities. Kentire Holdings Jamaica Limited had 15,240,143 units, or 8.73% of market sales activity. Woodcats International Limited with 7,706,594 units, representing 4.42% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in education and distribution plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on Bank of Jamaica data for April 22, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $156.74 and buying at $158.74. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by $6.52 transaction spreads. The Canadian dollar sold for $117.87 and was bought for $111.35. For the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities of $8.10 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $216.89 and was bought for $208.79. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, this one's for entrepreneurs. Winning a government contract or a private sector contract is one thing. Delivering on it is another. Government and institutional projects often require you to front costs, staffing, materials, logistics. If your credit is strong, you can access lines of credit, trade financing, or short-term funding to bridge that gap. If it is weak, your credit score is weak, you may find yourself unable to mobilize quickly enough, making you a less attractive candidate from the start. If your goal is to attract higher value clients, your credit strategy needs to be intentional. Pay all obligations on time. Consistency matters more than perfection. Keep credit utilization low to demonstrate control over cash flow. Build relationships with financial institutions before you need them. Regularly review your credit report for accuracy and gaps. Separate personal and business credit to strengthen your professional profile. In our Funded and Focused feature, sharing knowledge helps you grow if you have the right tools. As a woman entrepreneur in the diaspora, when you connect across countries, you learn new ways to run your business. Research from the University of the West Indies shows that diaspora networks help people share skills and ideas. But this works best when you have good digital tools like online platforms and clear communication. Without them, it's harder to stay connected and learn from each other. So support is not just motivation, it's access. You need mentors who have already built businesses across countries, connectors who can introduce you to buyers, partners, and investors, peer groups of women doing similar work in the Caribbean, the US, Canada, or the UK. Because research from the Women Entrepreneur Knowledge Hub shows women grow faster when they have strong networks and mentorship. The goal: be in rooms where decisions are made, not just discussed. And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, the Caribbean Public Health Agency has opened its 70th annual Health Research Conference with a call for innovation and collaboration. In her opening remarks, CARPHA's Executive Director, Dr. Lisa Indar, warns the region must adapt to emerging diseases and shifting global health pressures, a sentiment later echoed by other leaders.
This year's theme, Innovations in Health, could not be more timely and at a more fitting host country that is pioneering health innovations. Today, in a world of shifting, new and emerging infections, reeling from the devastating global impact of COVID-19 pandemic that showed us gaps in our health systems and the need for coordinated multi-sectoral real-time detection and response for transboundary spread of infectious diseases. Today, in the world of rapid digital transformation, reducing funding landscapes, geopolitical shifts, and rising infodemic, we now stand at a threshold of a new era, one where health innovation is not optional, but essential. We are now in a world where technology, digital solutions, scientific breakthroughs, and local ingenuity are critical for transforming how we prevent disease, deliver health care, protect populations, and save lives and livelihoods. Innovations is redefining health, from AI-powered systems that can detect outbreaks before they spread, to rapid genomic sequencing that helps us understand and respond to emerging threats.
We meet at a time when the world is changing at an unprecedented pace. New technologies are emerging, old diseases are reappearing in new forms, non-communicable diseases continue to place a heavy burden on our populations. Antimicrobial resistance threatens to undo decades of medical progress. And alongside all of this, we also face an infodemic, a flood of misinformation that challenges the trust in science itself. Innovation is not only about high technology, it's about solving problems in practical, scalable, and impactful ways. And at this conference, we have amassed many examples, and you'll see them in the exhibition booths. Innovation is a community health worker using telemedicine to improve the care of patients in remote regions. It is the integration of digital health tools so that we can improve the efficiency of care. In the Caribbean, innovation must be rooted in our realities. It must address our geography, our resource constraints, and our unique epidemiological profile. That is why research and innovation must go hand in hand.
The Rotary Club of Grenada has officially launched its Childhood Obesity Prevention campaign, encouraging students to drink more water and reduce their sugar intake. The initiative will see the distribution of reusable water bottles to students. The details in this GBN News report.
Instead of reaching for the juice, we want you to reach for the water instead.
The Rotary Club of Grenada, with sponsorship from the Grenada Cooperative Bank, is promoting long-term health through its Childhood Obesity Awareness campaign. Under the theme More Water, Less Sugar, the organization will distribute reusable water bottles to 800 grade 3 students in 36 schools across St. George, St. Mark, and St. John. The initiative aims to reduce the rising rates of obesity by encouraging children to choose water over juices and sweetened beverages. Childhood obesity can lead to lifelong chronic health conditions such as high cholesterol, diabetes, and hypertension. Member of the Rotary Club of Grenada, Dr. Kevlian Andrews, said data from the World Health Organization reflects a marked increase in childhood obesity rates, linked to diets high in processed foods and reduced physical activity. The data from Grenada is especially alarming.
In the 1980s, 1970s, the childhood obesity percentage was less than 5%. If you look at the data all up to 2022, for the world, it's about 8.2%. Unfortunately, for Grenada, we're trending much higher. We're closer to 20% for 2022. Need I remind us that we are now in 2026, and so it has undoubtedly increased since then.
According to the president of the Rotary Club of Grenada, Julia Lawrence, the campaign is part of a broader initiative by Rotary District 7030, which encompasses the Southern Caribbean in collaboration with the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA.
It aims to reduce the incidence of childhood obesity in our communities, to reduce chronic diseases and cancers in adulthood, to instill healthy lifestyles, behavior from a young age, for the Rotary clubs, for us to make a more meaningful impact, and certainly to secure a healthier future for our children.
The Childhood Obesity Awareness campaign is valued at $15,000. Speaking on behalf of Grenada Cooperative Bank, Erica Hostin said the bank's sponsorship reflects its commitment to the holistic development of Grenadian communities.
We view this initiative as an investment in the future. Healthier children are more likely to become healthier adults, individuals who are productive, engaged, and equipped to contribute positively to society. And as Grenada's only indigenous or local commercial bank on the island, there is no greater return than investing in the health of the next generation.
Over the next few days, Rotary Club members will visit various public and private schools to distribute the reusable bottles and encourage children to adopt healthier lifestyles. Deidre Seeley, GBN News.
Antigua and Barbuda is seeking to secure millions in United States funding for Caribbean port development. Port Authority's CEO, Darwin Telemack, led regional talks at the U.S. Department of State in Washington, D.C., returning with new financing prospects. ABS News' Samantha Simon reports.
The United States government convened a meeting on April 20th, bringing together port managers and maritime leaders from across the Caribbean. Antigua and Barbuda, through the Port Management Association of the Caribbean, known as PMAC, was first to sign on.
The meeting was focusing on development objectives of ports. Each country has their port development strategy, and the U.S. wanted to ensure that they could have a look at those and to see how they could collaborate. 2
grants were announced at the meeting. A $10 million grant to support regional port development strategy and coordination through PMAC, and a $5 million grant targeted at upgrading digital infrastructure across Caribbean ports. Telemack says He has already requested that Antigua be amongst the first to benefit from the digitization funding.
I highlighted the fact that Antigua is ready, and I'd like them to come immediately to start looking to see how they could upgrade our critical digital environment, our IT, internet connectivity, and all the things that we need to do, run our CCTVs, as well as the new terminal operating system and the maritime single window that we will be operating from here.
As for concerns about how increased U.S. engagement might affect Antigua's existing relationship with China, which financed the current port, Telemac was direct. The government of Antigua and Barbuda owns the port outright, and Prime Minister Brown's position is clear.
If the U.S. is the party that comes to help us, we'll go with the U.S. If they don't, we go with the party that allows us to do what we need to do. So I can only go along with what the Minister of the Port champions. And he is the Honorable Prime Minister of Antigua. And he likes to say we are equal opportunity. The best deal comes, we take the best deal.
Telemac also noted that the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation reached out to him the same day, requesting a meeting next week. A sign, he says, that Washington is ready to move quickly. Samantha Simon, APS News.
In sports, we're on the track. The 130th staging of the Penn Relays begins today at Franklin Field in Philadelphia, United States, with high school girls set to headline the opening day of competition. The schedule marks a return to the traditional format, with girls competing on the first 2 days after appearing on the final days last year under a rotation system introduced in 2023. Thousands of athletes and spectators are expected to attend the 3-day meet. Today's opening day will feature preliminary round action in the 4x100 meters, 4x400 meters, and 4x800 meters relays as teams battle for spots in tomorrow's finals. The top 12 teams on times will advance. We go to cricket. The second round match of the West Indies Championship between Leeward Islands Hurricanes and Trinidad and Tobago's Red Force has been abandoned as a draw after umpires declared the pitch at Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua dangerous to play on.
Play was stopped in the first session of day 3 when the surface began producing uneven and unpredictable bounce. Leeward Islands batsman Jeremiah Louis was struck while at the crease and was taken to hospital for evaluation. He is reported to be in a stable condition. Cricket West Indies says the pitch could not be safely repaired without creating an unfair advantage and was therefore ruled unfit. Both teams will receive points earned up to the point of abandonment. CWI has confirmed no further matches are scheduled at the venue until the championship final, set for May 17th to 20th, and says all necessary resources will be deployed to prepare a safe surface for that fixture.
That's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you so much for watching.